What's up, scumbags? It's episode 66. I am Brock.
And I'm James.
And this is Rebel Scum Podcast.
Hey.
Did I already say that? I don't know. But yeah, we're just doing their run-of-the-mill
I like your hat.
podcast. Yeah, thank you. Rebel Alliance. Just doing the normal stuff. I'm sure we'll do a top 5 news. But,
Yeah.
cool thing I want to check out. I got the cool Dorbs Star Wars things that came out exclusively for the Disney Store. I got Chewbacca and a Jawa. Just cool unboxing, and
I didn't know that these were Disney Store exclusives until you told me.
Yeah, I didn't know either. So I was like, well, what was the whole point of just putting the Disney Store? So that makes sense. But added to a Chewbacca to the Chewbacca to the Chewbacca shelf. Hooray, hooray!
I love a shelf of Chewie.
You know what, James? What I like about Rebel Scum Podcast, when everything goes according to plan and it's just normal and nothing bad happens, and then we just have a great old time. And anyways,
The Rebel Scum Podcast will pay the price for the lack of vision. Now, execute episode 66. And here's a message from Saw Gerrera.
Andrew, the Mortis thing is not going to happen. It's lies, deception. Only more Borgullet.
Borgullet terrifies me.
welcome to the Empire Podcast, where
Bum, 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 bum.
we have cool songs and we get rid of all Rebel Scum.
Yeah.
Boo.
Boo, Rebels.
I don't even know why I'm still wearing this shirt.
I actually am a bigger fan of the Empire anyway. I'm
Wow.
always like, look, the Emperor says when Sith rule the galaxy, there will be peace. And when you watch it, they're really peaceful. The Empire is very peaceful. I mean, sure,
yeah.
you can't really have a good life and blah, 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 but it's very peaceful.
Totally. It just,
I'm totally into it. This is Order 66, the 66th episode of the Rebel Scum Podcast, and this one has been dictated by you guys.
the fans.
Yay! All you loyal viewers, you guys Facebook messaged us, emailed us, did all that fun stuff, and because of you, we have a show today. And
Wow.
we picked them all apart. We figured out what should we talk about, what shouldn't we talk about, and we're not talking about Star Wars. We are in fact just going to be talking about Stranger Things Season 2.
Stranger Things Season 2.
I have not seen it yet.
So in Scene 7, Jonathan says to Mike...
Have you watched it yet?
Oh, I watched it all one day.
Of course you did. I have not seen it yet. I did get it spoiled. I'm not going to say who, but one of our followers on Twitter tweeted out a spoiler. So thank you.
How dare you.
Thank you very much for that. Anyway, so we're going to just talk about what you guys want us to talk about. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Oh, totally. I'm glad that I don't have to think up any thoughts today.
Oh, no, you still have to think of the thoughts,
Oh,
but they have to be
crap.
in regards to it. So let's get right onto it, because we have a long show. We will be joined with Andrew and Rob later on.
Oh, boy.
Can't get enough of those two rebels.
Nah.
Not at all. All right, first up, we've got Luke's Temple on Lothal.
Ooh.
This one is by Den Allen. He wants us to talk about if Luke's Jedi Temple could be on Lothal. Now,
Interesting.
I haven't seen the last 2 episodes of Rebels because I have been away. Have you watched them yet?
Yes.
And Andrew did a review on it. Watch it. Well, you all have. Well, they go to Lothal in this.
Correct.
Is there a hint that there could be a temple on Lothal?
Good God, no. The first episode is just them getting there, which I thought... I don't know if I watched all of Andrew's review. I found was just sort of a episode filler. But no, there's no reference to the temple, which I think is a really cool idea because we saw it in season 2. So that's a really good idea because no one is gonna care if he. I think everyone wants him to have some kind of academy or building or what have you. So yeah, why not? This is an easy way to link Rebels to the movies and doesn't really. I don't think messes with it. I would love it, and it's such a cool temple how it comes out through the ground. So
And it like you just said, people that watch Rebels would be like, that is awesome, and people that don't watch Rebels won't feel one way or another about it. And I think it's an easier tie-in than Ezra is Snoke or Ezra is DJ, in that the show kind of introduces you that. Whereas a temple, if they're going to do a temple for Luke somewhere. It could be anywhere. And so you can make it that one if you want it.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're necessarily going to do that because of the way... But, you know, if Rian Johnson's the one who decides where that is ultimately, because J.J. Abrams set it up, and then Rian Johnson's the one like, well, we'll do this. He seems to me like he has more of a connection with the canon itself more than J.J. Abrams. Like, J.J. Abrams, like, he understands Star Wars in the films and whatnot. But I think Rian Johnson has an overall, not appreciation, but an understanding of the surroundings. Like, when he got asked if Ezra is DJ, he said no. He said he's his own guy, but he kind of acknowledged that he knows what's going on in that cartoon world.
Right. Yeah, I mean, what we've seen in the trailers where Luke's standing in front of things that are on fire, or there's his hands coming out of rubble and stuff like that. I don't think Lothal when I see those scenes, but then again, I don't really look directly. I didn't really think of it at the time, so maybe I'd revisit that trailer and see again. I think it'd be great, and it's also another point for it is, you know, Lothal is based on McQuarrie initial artwork for the Star Wars, so it's like it could easily become one of those cool little factoids about the movie franchise that people could, you know, like I think some people really like those little movie tidbits. You see it on Instagram all the time, like facts and stuff like that, or just like movie trivia. It's like, did you know that this is this and this is that? And you're like, whoa, that's crazy. So then maybe that might bring more people in. I don't know, but yeah, I think it'd be very interesting. So would they be in the temple? Because it looks like the temple's you have to like you have to prove yourself to get into it, or would they have a like academy around it? Because it looks like there's buildings being destroyed at some point. So
with like Luke,
yeah, within the actual trailer, if it were to be Lothal, even if there is a temple.
That's a great question. I think Luke. I think inside.
Interesting.
I think there would be a key, and Luke figured it out in those 30 years that you have, based on the artifacts that you've been searching for. That's one thing. You know what? Sorry to side act by this one. We have not talked about the artifacts much in the last little while. Remember, Force Awakens time? It was all about Luke finding these artifacts.
Yeah.
And that's kind of faded away, and it's not in the forefront. I still think that they could play a big part. Like a subtle big part. Yeah. And that could be how he can enter these temples and whatnot and then train the Jedi. The question is has Kylo been in there?
Yeah. Because if the temple only opens to people that are accepted, like so Jedi or whatever, at some point Ben Solo should be able to get in there. So maybe that's one of the keys to getting him to go evil is like he's access to whatever. Maybe Snoke wants something in that Jedi Academy, Jedi Temple, or whatever, and it's his fall into evil is him getting into that temple and then.
And maybe it's because Kylo has such a connection with the dark and the light.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Snoke's like, okay, I don't want a Jedi because a Jedi will use what I need for good. I need somebody on the balance that can still trick the temple or whatnot into getting in there, and then once in there, can get what I need, and then I can use it for my ultimate purpose. That's interesting. But look, Lothal is a planet that now has been in our lives for 4 years, and it's a significant planet on the show, and the show is, because it is a show, is a significant part of the Star Wars universe. I would say film, TV, book, comic, maybe in order of quote unquote importance to the Star Wars universe. So it is a big part. I mean, anything that happens in that show could happen in a film if they wanted it to. And I don't know, and what we talk about all the time, what's the point of having the show and make everything connect if you're not going to connect anything? And I know this is 30 years before, and that's maybe why it makes sense. It could be rotting down, it could be destroyed and whatnot, like you said. And then Luke could go there and be like, this is an important place for the Jedi, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I think Lothal deserves to be in the movie somehow. I mean, I'm reading the Thrawn book. I'm almost done. They don't really go there, I think of, but like they mention it all the time. So it's like, once I heard this theory, I was like, or this question, it's like, oh yeah, like Lothal, like it's the hot planet right now. I mean, it's like the new Jakku, where we're like, we need to know more,
but on a smaller scale.
Smaller scale,
and that's exactly it. They have put it on the show, and then they put it in the books, and they are making it the It planet right now. So, is there an importance on there that we're not looking at? That we're not figuring out, like we're not seeing, like Jakku, we're like, well, Jakku's the dark side, and Jakku's got this, and it grew Rey from the earth soils of the earth. But Lothal, we're just like, Ezra's from there, and it's under Imperial occupation, and blah, blah. But if Luke's temple's there, if you make that important to the movies, then this could be, because you figure Disney, Lucasfilm, the new regime of Lucasfilm, is going to want something that's 100% their own.
Yeah.
This is 100% their own. And so is Jakku, but so is this. And I think you could do more on Lothal than Jakku just because of the type of planet that it is.
Right.
Now, I think it would have been more, well, we don't know, I guess, because of updates and whatnot, but it would have been more telling if it was a planet on, like, Battlefront. If you could play it on Battlefront, then you're like, oh, what's going on with Lothal?
Right.
Because I would argue that Lothal is more popular than, like, Sullust.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even think of anything where they actually go to Sullust.
Yeah, like Sullust is mentioned by Vader.
Yeah.
And then obviously the hardcores know it, but it's not. I mean, Lothal we've seen Lothal.
It's like, well, we got this kooky character called Nien Young, and he has to live somewhere.
And Vader mentioned Sullust, so just make those two.
Yeah.
Compared. That's how it is. So thanks, Dan Allen, for that one. I would love Luke's temple on Lothal. Does it match the vision?
I think if it was, we would have seen a Lothcat at some point during like the sizzle reel, because they showed us all those creatures. Like I feel like, but that would be, if they did that, people would be like, "Oh my God, Lothal!" So maybe not.
There's a way to get more eyes on your show. Just saying. All right, this one is from Jacob Nixon, good friend of the show. Sending out, we'll have a new, t-shirt contest winner will be announced at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And we have a new contest that next week we're going to announce, and Jacob Nixon will have a part of that. So thank you, Jacob, for this. Was Luke trying to reform the Church of the Wills?
Right.
And will Kylo successfully reform it? Or sorry, Reylo. The Kylo Rey love connection. Well, look, Reylo love connection or not, it's a thing. Rey and Kylo have a relationship, which you could argue is similar to Luke and Vader, or Anakin, Obi-Wan, for all we know. Anakin, something like that. It doesn't have to be romantic. If you think it's romantic and you want to believe it's romantic, we'll find out in December, like a month. We'll find out in a month and a bit. Yeah. So that aside, we're not going to go into that today because nobody wanted us to talk about that. But that aside, did you see that coming?
What?
Luke reforming the Church of the Wills.
I'm more interested in that. Like, yeah, Kylo and Rey are like Vader and Luke. It's just kind of true. Anyways, but having not read a ton of the Church of the Wills, I don't really have a thought on it. I mean, so like a Church of the Wills, would that be like a place like Jeddah? Like, would they have had a church there as well?
Yeah, like so the Wills were the books. Like
I know what the Wills are.
And Lord Santeca, from what I believe I've read, is that he is a member of the Church of the Force, but I think that could be the Church of the Wills.
Like, I think they don't. I think they can talk about the Wills because they've done it in Rogue One. Though I would argue a normal viewer would be like, "What?" I think
that's why you do it in Rogue One. And I said this to a friend of ours, Brett. Brett Heard, shut up. He doesn't watch the show. Yes, he does. He was like, why'd they mention the Kyber Crystal? Why'd they mention the Wills? If there's no payoff to these. And I just watched Rogue One earlier this morning, whatever it was. And there's two things I noticed. One, I think the Kyber Crystal does play a little bit of a factor in Rogue One in getting them through the shield gate on Scarif, because when they're trying to use the code and they don't know if it's going to work, she pulls out the Kyber Crystal, and I think that has some kind of a force to it. Whatever, that might not be a thing, but I'm going to go with it because they make a point to show her looking at the Kyber Crystal, right. But they also make a point to tell you what a Kyber Crystal is, where it is located, and the biggest stars of hearts of Kyber, which I think is good. And I think obviously the Church of the Wills, and they were guardians of the Wills, and they believed in the Wills, and now Baze doesn't believe. And I really think the reason for all of this, aside from character development, is for the audience to know, because they knew a large amount of people were going to watch this, more than you can put in Rebels. And I think they know they're going to throw it in there, so that way in The Last Jedi, when Luke tears apart a lightsaber to show Rey what it's made of, you see a kyber crystal, and you don't question it.
Yeah.
They still will, because the movie was a year ago, but people will be like, oh, Rogue One explains it.
Yeah.
So you all have that. You have that because you can't be like, well, the book, chapter 17 in book 902 of Legends says blah blah blah. You can't have that. You have, when it's in a movie, it's part of the universe, and and that even sticks with what Pablo Hidalgo said about when we were talking about the novelizations of the prequels, and he goes, the only parts of the novelization that matter are what's in the movie.
Right.
Everything else is legends, technically. So it's kind of weird. So I really feel like even if it happens in a cartoon or a book or a comic, unless it's in a movie, it doesn't matter. And because that's in a movie, now they can play with it. And I think they did that on purpose, knowing what's coming up.
I think the cop-out answer is yes, because if we assume those books we see in the trailer are the Journal of the Wills or whatever, then if he's looking for them, you could also argue that he could reform the Church of the Wills, because that's why it's a cop-out. It's like, well, he's looking for this stuff, and if this stuff exists somewhere, then technically you could make a place for people to sit and reflect on them. It just seems weird to make it a religion. You know what I mean? Because it's really just a what's the word? It's when you write all that stuff down, it's like a journal, but like
a Bible.
No, not a Bible.
A wills. A diary.
Diary.
Well, no, but it's a religion, because in A New Hope they refer to it as an ancient religion, the Force, right?
Yeah, but that's a Jedi. Like that's
no, it's the Force.
The Force. Yeah. So is the wills a?
Yeah, it's a complicated.
Like what's the word I'm searching for when like a history of the galaxy?
Yeah.
Like.
I feel like Luke finds out that the Jedi ways were corrupted, and then when you look at the wills and the Journal of the Wills and what the Force is all about, he's like, oh, this is the Jedi had the Jedi were tricked. They were on the wrong path. Right. They believed they were doing good, but really it wasn't. The Sith are blah blah blah, but really it's this gray area here, and you don't have to say gray Jedi, but this here, and we have to get this back on track. It's time for the Jedi end, and there's a new wave needs to come up.
I guess
that's what needs to happen. That's what if I was going to answer, that's what I would say is going to be, and that's why this Reylo thing makes sense, because you have your dark side and your light side coming together to form something. And that's where I would go on this one.
Yeah, like I just see it as more of a record of what happened. I mean, what you just said makes sense too, because the people that knew the actual story get killed off. So it's like, to stop repeating the same problem, you gotta, look at this stuff. I don't see it as a religious text though, because it's sort of like, if you're just reporting what happened, like here's the players, this happened. Because like in the scrolls, they're just like summing up what's happened prior to this. It's not making a comment on anything, but I mean, you could read between the lines. I don't know. I'm not against it, but it doesn't feel like a religion. It feels the Church of the Jedi or the Church of the Sith. That makes a little bit more sense to me, but I don't know. I want to say no, because I feel like it's like, look how long we spent trying to explain how we would get to our
We're going to get one comment that's going to like sum it up way better than us.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's what's going to happen. No, it's complicated, but I think I just think that like the wills are going to play a part in it. It's a book. You don't have to. I think you're focusing too much on it being a religion.
Well, a church.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I think
it's hard to get past that word, like temple. I will give you that. I mean, we consider them Jedi temples.
Yeah, like instead of like you think Church of the Wills, but reforming just the wills itself and the meaning of the will.
Okay, yeah.
As opposed, and
that's what I said at the beginning. Like, collecting all these items and getting the truth of like what happened in the past and learning from it. I can get behind that, because when I hear the word church, I just automatically see a holy place where people gather and worship something or meditate on some type of lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Well, they could do that with the wills.
Yeah. So. But, when I say Jedi Temple, I guess I kind of made the same thing, because if the Jedis were hanging out there, definitely they learn how to use the Force and they meditate on it. It's basically how that works. But
your hat has changed you.
Yeah, well, 20 minutes ago, I was a different person.
This is one of my favorites from Ian McLean. Writes to us, Kylo following Anakin's footsteps from episodes 1, 2, and 3, but in reverse. I love this because I love prequels. I love that idea, and I do like the idea of him following in reverse. The only thing is, we've seen the problem. Here's my thing with Kylo that I can't wrap my head around. And I know a new TV spot or trailer or something dropped during the World Series, which is funny because I was watching that game for like a second and then we went out because I was on West Coast time, so it was like way earlier, and I was like getting ready. And while I was getting ready to go out, I put on the game for a bit, but I turned it off before that happened. I guess I'm not gonna watch it. Did you watch it?
No, I didn't know it happened.
I saw one clip. Not a clip. I saw a still image, and I was like, stop. So I didn't want to see it. I mean, it was something that was inevitably going to happen. I mean, but I didn't. So anyway, I haven't seen it. So guys, don't judge me on that. If you want me to watch it and talk about it, if you want us, just let us know. Otherwise, I'm going to stay away from it. You do what you want. But the one thing, so I haven't seen that. So because I'm trying to go in really, really empty on this one because they've shown us a lot but nothing.
Yeah.
And the one thing I can't wrap my head around with Kylo is how do you, if you're going to do that arc in reverse, how do you make him go to the good side, to the light side, without it being cheap, gimmicky, and been there, done that?
So he goes on the Vader pilgrimage, and you're saying it gets him more attuned with the light side because he's going backwards?
Well, what Ian's saying is that it's the reverse of Anakin, right?
Right.
Episode 3, 2, 1 instead of 1, 2, 3.
Oh, so it's not. It's not a story of how he I went to Mustafar and then I went to
no.
Like the journey of Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could get behind that. Just trying to think because it's like, yeah. Doesn't physically have to be certain things, but yeah, sure, that would be neat. But then he would have to get someone unpregnant.
How do you get him to the light side without being like, because every time we watch a Star Wars film now, somebody has to turn dark or light.
Yeah,
there's no this is just who you are. And I feel like he's going to stay in this gray area. Now, I've heard things like some trailers behind the scenes are showing things that might give stuff away, but I don't know what it is. But I'm fine with him being neutral.
Mm-hmm. I think if there's any moment of redemption, it's going to come at the very end.
See, what I would say, sorry to cut you off here, but you know what, and I've said this from the beginning, I love the prequels, and I have look at that son of me, and I have no problem with the prequels necessarily, but I'm always like, if they were to be redone, or if I redid it, I would have Anakin turn midway or some point in the second one. And you know, the last trailer that I saw, Kylo extends his hand, whoever he's extending his hands to, Rey or whatever, doesn't matter. But if he's extending his hand there, then you're doing the same arc, but you're telling it quicker because he doesn't start off he's not going to end as a child, obviously.
Yeah.
So you're already pushed ahead.
Yeah.
So that's where you can see, like, if it's going to change, it could change in the second one here, and that would be, for me, fitting. But I really want him to stay struggling between the light and the dark, and he's just doing what he perceives as the right thing.
Yeah.
Which Anakin kind of did. He thought he perceived the Sith as being the right thing, whereas now there's no Sith and there's no Jedi. Well, there's a Jedi. So maybe he doesn't think the Jedi are right, which he could be right on.
Yeah.
But he doesn't think Snoke is right either. So he's just kind of like, I have to stay here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I think if he were to flip allegiances in this next movie, I think it would be confusing. I think I'm all for he stays the villain, or he turns to, like he does, like Vader, and becomes good at the end. Like, I think this movie, well, one is to explain the idea that he's going backwards. I think you have to explain, we don't see him as evil, and that's why we're constantly saying, it's like, oh, maybe it'll flip. Like, he's definitely, there's a torment in him where it's flipping back and forth. So for him to go good, for it to not seem cheesy, we have to explain how evil he is. And like, I don't think really. I mean, he wears a spooky mask. Yeah, but that's the scene of like sort of reluctance, and like after that happens, he's so almost like incensed. He's like in a whole new level where he's not even like it. I feel like you wouldn't have a normal conversation. He's just out for blood at that point. So, do we see something in this new movie where he's up and down, or he's just evil all the way through? I mean, that's one of the reasons like Vader was so interesting as a villain, because he's just so robotic in form and in nature that like, I don't care, you're dead now, I do what I want to do. So like, we kind of see that at the end, but then all the lead up to it, and like, it's just even the last moment with him and Han, where it's like, was that the plan the whole time to kill him, or did the dark side take over him right at that moment? Like, I think that's why Kylo's an interesting character. So if I don't know, it's just.
See, in the book, when he kills Han, he expects the dark side to overcome him and take him.
Yeah.
But instead, he's still struggling.
Yeah.
So you find out that killing Han really did nothing. Which is, I will say, I think this is an error in the book's end in terms of why say that to us?
Yeah.
Like that, I don't like that. There are little things you can add in books that I like better, but when you're writing a book based on a film that's going to have a sequel that you know is going to have a sequel, and you write these things, obviously that's going to have a consequence in what's coming up.
Yeah.
But why put it in the book? You know what I mean? Like, why? Just leave it. Like, but my favorite line, "It is you," when he says it to Rey.
Right. That's
why?
such a.
And that's bullcrap.
Yeah, that's such a different like.
Yeah, like you like. From someone that makes films of storytelling, when you watch that scene, I got that sense from the look that he gave.
Yeah.
But Joe Schmo down the street, who doesn't really care or pay attention, is just like, I just want to see fighting. He's not going to pick up on that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or she's not going to pick up on that. So that was my thing with that. And anyway, we're going to Kylo. Is Kylo going to... Do you think Kylo's going to kill Snoke? Maybe not in 8, but at some point.
Yeah, I think so. I think he has to either be the one or involved with the fall of Snoke. Like, I like to think that Luke and Snoke are gonna go toe to toe on a whole new level, sort of thing. But yeah, like it could very easily be Kylo. So it's there's so much we just do not know. Like it's.
Oh, maybe people do know if they've watched the trailer.
Yeah, sure, maybe.
They just show the whole movie now. Snoke's just like, "You are my slave," and Kylo's like, "No."
Yeah. So.
And then he stabs him. Mm-hmm. I would like to see. Well, I don't know, because I don't know if Snoke is agile, so I don't know if I want to watch a fight between Snoke and anybody. Yeah.
I just look at like what we know of Snoke. He's gonna be super tall, and he's like. It was supposed to be some practical, but then like it's a lot of it's CG. Like I don't know if you can have a really interesting looking fight between that, like a character like that and a regular person, to make it look real. So that's why I feel like it's like they fight on a new like plane. It's like in X-Men when like they go to the oh god, it's like when Professor X fights someone in his mind. I forget what it's called. Anyways, it's like that where it's like it's happening, but they're just standing there like this. And then...
I like the idea that I heard a little while ago of he would die like Yoda. I think we made that up or something. But he dies like Yoda, where he's training Kylo, and he's kind of like, "I'm dying. You are the last one who can save the galaxy."
Don't touch.
Wouldn't that be a powerful way though for a villain to go out, tricking your new villain? Like because he's an old dying man or woman, whatever Snoke ends up being.
Yeah,
he could say something to Kylo as his dying words that could propel Kylo to finish what he wants to be finished.
Right.
And it might not be the right thing, but Kylo will always think it is, because that's the dying breath of this old creature.
Right. I don't know. I do not know.
Speaking of old dying creatures, was Rey's awakening? There's a typo here. Was Rey's awakening spark of the Force a pulse Spark a oh god, I can't read this. I'm so tired. Did Rey's awakening spark a pulse in the dark side? Is what that should say.
Interesting. So what does that mean?
This is from Scotty Hawk.
Like now a whole new wave of dark side users are going to appear?
Yeah, like this, like, so he's saying the balance of the Force. Was Rey's awakening now going to spark more of a dark side, more Sith, because the Force always needs balance?
Yeah, possibly. It'd be interesting if they showed, like, the fight on Murder Planet and, like, her winning all of a sudden, or her lighting the lightsaber starts off a chain reaction, like a temple opens or something like that, and they're like, yes, now we can go get this Sith holocron or something like that. Or yeah, like that'd be kind of neat. It's interesting though, Rey, the idea of Rey starting it all off, because like the idea of her understanding the Force, I get that, because like they always talk about how Force users can tell when something's happened, like there's a disturbance in the Force or something. You know, like in a certain point of view, Yoda knows when ObiWan dies because he feels his essence like snuff out in the galaxy, sort of thing. So I like the idea. I just don't understand why it would start things. I think anyone that can understand the Force could feel her like finding her power, but
I like there was a rumor before The Force Awakens came out that I think it was based off of the first teaser trailer we ever got, where something happened in the galaxy, and all of a sudden the Force started to present itself in people. There was an awakening, like people would wake up from the Force and all of a sudden have these abilities. Like they couldn't obviously manifest it like Luke or whatever, manipulate it like that. But there was something different about them. And they're like, oh, I'm feeling different. But all these people in the galaxy were feeling it now because it had been dormant for so long. And now something sparked this awakening. Yeah. And, I mean, people like to say the Finn. They think Finn is the awakening in the Force Awakens. I think it's Rey. I think now we're seeing that it is Rey. The Force Awakens in Rey.
That's the title.
But the thing is it more powerful than that? Is it another... Like, is she the true chosen one? I don't want to say chosen one. I can't think of another word for it right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, is she the one? We talked about this on, like, our second episode ever, and I love going back to it, where Luke is like, the Jedi were deceived by a lie, and he tells the story of the first two Force wielders ever. Yeah. And it was a guy, and a brother and a sister, and the brother killed the sister. And could she be a reincarnation of the sister of the very first Force user? Right. And that is the awakening.
Maybe. I don't know.
Like, reincarnation, like, Buddhist.
Yeah.
Think of that.
Buddhist.
Because we all look at the Force as one way, but what if actually, when Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, whoever was, took the reins, they looked at it like this, and they just spun it. Yeah. Not 180, just a little bit less. Yeah. And they're like, no, actually, you know what? I actually really want this perspective of the Force.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the question is, like, what is the future of these movies? Are we going to have lots of Jedi and lots of Sith? Or are they going to do it? Because it's sort of, when you think about it, it's like the prequels circled around the Jedis being an organization, a massive organization, and like sort of had power to an extent. Would the galaxy want them to have power again? Because they saw what they could miss. Well, it's like, oh, you caused all this trouble. You caused a massive war. Da-da-da-da-da. Why would we let you do anything? And Coruscant survived without you. Why do we need you back? So the question would be like, if good or evil, the group, what would the group be doing? Would it be a publicly known thing, or would it just be off in the side? It's kind of neat when you think about it. Again, I know we're trying to make this religious, but it's like, the Jedi Council is kind of like a religion, almost like what, like, you know, let's call it like the Catholic Church. When the Catholic Church was in charge, was at one point, like in the, you know, Middle Ages, if you want to call it that, like they were in charge. The Pope actually had power, so it's like, oh, we took this religion away, and now we are secular or whatever. It'd be interesting to see what it would be like. I don't know, but yeah. I'm all down with the idea of Rey finding her powers sends a shockwave through the galaxy and things start happening.
Yeah, totally be up for that. And I want to see good versus evil, battle to the deaths, arena style, like on Geonosis. Geonosis.
Yeah, of course.
I'm down for that. And if that means, and I think they can do that. And I think there was an interview, I think it was on the Star Wars show with Kathleen Kennedy, where she had said that they had planned 10 more years of Star Wars films at least, like story-wise. So I hope that includes some Rey and some Dark Side and some Kylo and, maybe Finn. Who knows?
Yeah.
I just want to say this. I love Finn. Finn's one of my favorite new characters.
Yeah.
I don't need him to be a Jedi.
No.
I love Han Solo. He's not a Jedi. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Move on to the wrong one. This one right here. Hondo in the Obi-Wan film.
I love that.
This is from Den Allen.
Woo.
Could Hondo drag Obi-Wan Kenobi around in the Kenobi standalone film?
I think the word dragged. I'm on board for this immediately. Any Hondo and anything is fantastic. I mean, you run into the problem where like they don't like putting aliens in starring roles. Like Chewbacca is like the most we usually get, and he barely talks. I mean, their aliens are present, but they don't have a mass. Like, I think at one point there was a fan poster of the new Han Solo where there's a right behind Alden Ehrenreich, there's a Twi'lek woman with a gun, and we're like, oh, wouldn't that be cool if that was Amelia, whatever, Clark. Thank you. I was like, Amelia Earhart. That's not the name. Like, that was her character, but like I don't think that's gonna happen. Like to have a start, and especially Hondo with bringing in the shows, both Clone Wars and Rebels, that'd be fantastic. Yeah,
I would totally be down for it. He would be the sidekick. Well, Obi-Wan just like, I need to get here.
Yeah.
No question. Like, it would be the same type of thing as he did with Han Solo and Chewie. He'd be like, I need something, blah, blah, blah. And Hondo could just be like, I'll get you there, Hondo. Perfect way to get him in. Makes a lot of sense. You don't need to know Clone Wars or Rebels to even care. He's just a character that is like a guide that is smuggling him. And he's such a cool character that he could try to like screw over Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan's just like, nah, you're not getting it.
He's so duplicitous, but like you love him anyways.
Yeah.
Like
I would totally be down for that. And I don't think it's going to happen because the Obi-Wan film is just going to be Obi-Wan sitting around a fire waiting for Ezra. We already know. All right, we need to take a commercial break here and talk to you guys about something new that's happening.
Ooh, a commercial break.
Brock, you want to take this one? Boom.
Check out our Patreon. We're doing this now, so Andrew's here to fill you in on all your Patreon questions.
Before we get to Patreon, we're doing Patreon because we're on YouTube and we like to do a lot of shows.
We did not rehearse this.
We like to do a lot of shows, but time and set is a thing.
Yeah.
So we're doing this Patreon page to help to get some support for this. So you can if you want. You don't have to. Don't feel obligated. Obviously, we're still gonna put the content on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go over to Andrew Fantasia, who is going to be a huge part of our Patreon stuff.
Whee!
Hey, scumbags! I'm here to talk to you a little bit about Patreon. We're setting ourselves up on Patreon, and if you want to know what the perks are for supporting us on Patreon, I'm here to tell you with my handsome stubble and my soft, sweet, dulcet tones. So here we go. Here are the tiers and rewards therein for our Patreon campaign. So the $1 tier, which is called Early Access, will get you early access to all of our shows, plus our Patreon exclusive show, Cloning Around, which is an in-depth Clone Wars show in the vein of our Rebels show, I Rebel. So that is the early access tier. $2 gets you the Imperial tier, which is everything from early access, plus Patreon exclusive access to the History of the Wars, which is a Star Wars podcast documentary that will be debuting sometime early next year that we are cooking right now, and that's going to be fun. The next tier, $3, is called Partisan. Partisan gets you the Rebel Scum podcast will have your emails read on the Scavenger Scum show, so Aaron will be reading those for you. You'll have your theories discussed on the podcast, plus you get all the early access and Imperial tier rewards. So that's Partisan. And finally, $10 or more on Patreon naps you the coveted tier of official Rebel Scum. That's right. You get to refer to yourself as Rebel Scum. You walk down the street, you talk to the person, you say, hi, my name is Jane, my name is Joe. Oh, by the way, I'm Rebel Scum. Rebel Scum gets you obviously all the previous tiers, so everything I mentioned in early access, Imperial, and Partisan. If you're Rebel Scum, you got that. Plus, since you're the ultimate supporter, you also become a contestant on Duel of the Fates or Vote of No Confidence, depending which one we do. So you get to duel against people like myself, against Rob, against that guy Darth Ward, who looks a hell of a lot like Rob, and I still don't know how he fits into everything. You can duel against James, you can duel against Aaron, you can duel against Brock, you can duel against people that probably you haven't even met yet, that we haven't even run on the show yet. You can duel against them, debate against them in the Senate. That is the tier Rebel Scum. And again, that includes all the previous tiers as well. Support us on Patreon, love us, subscribe to us, give us hugs, give us kisses, candy, flowers, all that fun stuff. And thank you so much for watching. Back to the boys.
All right, thanks, Andrew. So we will get that Patreon page up, and so check it out if you want. If you can just go in there and look at it all you want. All right, let's move on to 66 characters we want to see die in Star Wars. In order, this is from Deborah Jane Evans. She wants this. So, Brock, we're not going to do 66 characters in order. Is there anyone you want to see? You're like, this character needs to go.
I don't know. Can I just name 66 characters?
Go for it.
Han, Leia, Luke, Obi-Wan. Oh, wait, he's dead. Obi-Wan's ghost. Yoda's ghost. Anakin's ghost. K2SO. Cassian Andor.
They're gone.
They're down too. Rey, Finn, Poe.
Later on, we're going to get Andrew Fantasia to attempt 66 planets in 66 seconds. I can't wait to
R2,
see that happen.
even though he's not technically alive. C-3PO, BB-8, that medical droid. Clone Troopers, 269. I don't know. Why would we want them to die? I don't understand. I get it, the fun of it, but like...
Because it's Order 66.
Oh.
Now it's our 66th episode of Never Tell Me the Odds. This one is going to be a little bit different. They are all from you guys. Brock will read one, I will read one, and vice versa. I'll start off with the first one. Okay. First one is from Urson. Urson wants to know the odds of Luke dying in episode 8 or 9, and if he survives, could he survive another sequel trilogy? I'm going to go 51% he survives, 0% he survives another trilogy. I think he could die, but I mean, we had Han die. How many characters need to die?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to go 80% he dies at the end of this trilogy, which is the answer to the next one. So,
all right.
Yeah.
And the next one, Brock?
Scotty Hawk wants to know of Hawk's Holocrons?
Yep.
Wants to know the odds of Kylo overpowering Luke and Rey and him not taking his Force Awakens defeat lightly. Man,
his defeat in the Force
the
Awakens.
odds of Kylo winning in a battle and then not. Yeah. I'm gonna go 60%.
Yeah, I'm gonna go high too. 67. 67%, because I think Kylo could be the most powerful of them all. I think, they're building this up for Rey to be the most powerful, but I would like to see Kylo because Kylo understands. Well, I think Rey's going to end up eventually understanding both sides, and that's going to be the point that Luke's going to try to make to her is don't focus on this. You have to focus on both. Otherwise, he's going to be too much for you, and that's what's going to happen.
Right.
You good?
Oh, am I reading the next one?
I'll go to the next one.
Yeah,
you can do the next one.
Milo Naranjo wants to know the odds of the Obi-Wan film being made, and if we see Quinlan Vos, Mace Windu, Palpatine, Vader, Duchess Satine, or Qui-Gon in it. So, kind of like Hondo.
Will the Obi-Wan film actually get made? Yes, but it'll go through 7 directors.
Yeah, that's true. I hope that if it does get made, they do have a lot of references to the characters from like the Republic ages. I think we'll definitely see Vader, maybe Palpatine. They really, for some reason, they just don't like putting the Emperor in anything besides the Battlefront trailer. Yeah. Which it seems odd. Do we ever see him in Rebels? I don't think so.
And we're not going to this season either.
Yeah. Duchess Satine would be interesting, though she would be dead.
But if there's a flashback,
it would be some. Yeah, I think. If it's a movie that includes a lot of flashbacks, maybe like he has to go somewhere. Say with Hondo, like say he has to go somewhere with Hondo, and he's going to all these locations that were part of like a lot of like Clone Wars events that he has these flashbacks. He remembers things. So then, then you can put all these characters like Quinlan Vos. Let's just put him in, like, because we're gonna care, but no one else. They're like, cool, that's a cool character. I like his yellow line on his face. But this is never tell me the odds, right? I'm gonna say 40% because I feel like they're just gonna not put anyone in besides maybe Vader.
I'm gonna go 100% on the movie getting made, and I'm gonna go each one individually. Quinlan Vos, Fulbrock. He's alive. He survived Order 66. That was just revealed. Mace Windu 0, Palpatine 17, Vader 13, Duchess Satine 9, Qui-Gon 55.
Okay, cool. Those are numbers.
All percentage. I think the best chance of any of them was Qui-Gon for me.
Yeah.
Because his Force, Obi-Wan's going to learn how to become a Force ghost. So I don't know if we might not see him physically, but we will hear his voice and he will be mentioned quite a bit. And finally, Jacob Nixon wants to know the odds of a return to Kamino. Ooh, I would absolutely love a return to Kamino, and I would love it if this new trilogy ended there.
Yeah, no, I feel like every couple of weeks we mention the fact of like maybe someone had some leftover clones. So if you ever did that, like I think the Knights of Ren, we've said, hey, what if they were clones in there? That'd be sweet. Yeah. So then you could easily go to Kamino by that because you find a deposit of frozen clones or something like that. I'm gonna go 65%.
I'm gonna go 71. I should probably go 13% because I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would absolutely love it. So I'm gonna go where my heart is at 71%. All right, that's been Never Tell Me the Odds. Thanks a lot, guys, for those odds. And now let's go.
Those are good.
And now check this one out. It's the new segment, Andrew Attempts. That is the sound he makes every time I tell him to play Battlefront. It's terrible.
Me or Andrew?
Andrew.
Oh.
Well, we can't play Battlefront.
Yeah.
So Andrew this is a new segment, Andrew Attempts, because we want to see his Star Wars. People are saying Andrew knows Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think he does very well. So he has been challenged by one of our viewers, Austin Sure. I hope I'm saying it right. Sure. To list 66 planets in 66 seconds. Andrew, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you gentlemen doing?
Well, I was doing all right until you showed up.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Like he's wearing his Star Wars Celebration suit jacket.
If you relax your eyes, it's almost like he's dressed like a Jedi because it's like the tan under thing, and I know it's black and it's that jacket you always wear, but like.
He does
when you let your mind, like if you pretend it's brown.
He does have a lightsaber.
Yeah.
All right, so Andrew.
Watch me. They are relaxing their eyes.
They prefer to let their eyes just go out of focus when they're looking at you.
So Andrew, 66 planets in 66 seconds. Are you up for this? Can you do it?
I want to think I can. I think I might be able to get up to like 53. Problem is, a lot of these planets have like multi-syllable names, so it's going to be tough. But I will do my best. And Mr. Austin Scher, who gave me this challenge, thank you for the challenge, first of all. But there was also another challenge that came to me, more of a verbal challenge from a Mr. Saw Gerrera himself. I assume he recorded this before he died. But Saw told me that my Mortis theory is never going to happen with Rebels. Mr. Gerrera, I respectfully disagree, but I still love your laugh. We are seeing Mortis. We are seeing Ahsoka. It's all going to tie in. It's all connected. Illuminati confirmed.
So you still think that Mortis is happening? No question.
I still think so. And FYI, quick side Akbar, I literally just checked my Rogue One visual dictionary, and that Black Scout Trooper is not mentioned. So the odds of it being Ezra Bridger just went up.
Oh.
Buy some stock.
This is happening. All right, are you ready for this challenge, Andrew?
I'm as ready as I'm going to be.
Is there any ground rules? Like, you know how Endor is actually a moon? Isn't Yavin a moon as too? Are we just saying names of places that are planetoid in shape? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm fine.
I don't care. I know you don't care, but we have some hardcore fans that might want to see.
Well,
Andrew's
because
show.
we're not recording live, we can't get their opinion on it. So I will let the moons of some moons. I'll let them all slide.
The accomplishment is to name 66 locations,
but not cities. They have to be more than.
I know.
Something that orbits in space.
Planetoid locations.
Yeah, exactly. And Ewoks are not allowed to be in any of them. All right, Andrew, are you ready?
I think I am.
Okay, so I have a very high-tech stopwatch here.
Ooh.
It's on my phone. I won't say what kind of phone it is, so there's a very, very good chance it will stop working at some point when we hit play, because I couldn't get my Bluetooth to operate properly today, as you experienced.
Oh.
So anyway, Andrew, here we go. I'm going to hit the button, and every 10 seconds we'll let you know the time that's going. All right?
Okay.
All right. So here we go. You get to. I'm gonna hit the play. It's gonna be like Family Feud. I'll hit the play button once you name your first planet.
Gotcha.
How's that? All right. So I give you an extra second. So I hope nobody hates me for that. All right, ready, Andrew? Here we go. And you get to start your Andrew attempts to planet. 66 seconds starting now.
Naboo, Alderaan, Tatooine, Kessel, Dantooine, Yavin, Yavin 4, Hoth, Dagobah, Sullust, Endor, Tanab, Coruscant, Geonosis, Camino, Utapau, Mustafar, Seleucami, Cato Nemoidia, Nalhata, Nar Shaddaa, Lothal, Lyrasan, Lussan, oh boy, I'm running low, Harlock Minor, Hosnian Prime, Jakku, Dakar, Takodana, I already said Starkiller Base? No, I didn't. Starkiller Base, Axto, Cantonica.
30 seconds.
Oh boy, okay, alright, now we're down to the wire, Damn it! Okay.
That's not a planet.
Hidenomoya, Mon Calamari, Rhodia, Reylo,
20.
Mandalore, Concord Dawn, Chandrilla, Corellia, Carida, Cato Nemoidia,
10.
Biss, Calm,
5,
Munist.
4, 3, 2, 1. That's time. How many did you get?
I think I got 32.
I guess halfway through I'm like, we're not even counting.
Let's go back and check the tape. We will pause this. And
we'll wait for it to come in, and we will let you know by the end of the episode.
How do you feel you did, Andrew?
Like I said, I think I got 32.
All right, so welcome back to that. That, once again, was our new segment. At the end of the show, we will let you know what happened. That's the new segment that we like to call Andrew Attempts. Oh, Books and Comics. Today's Books and Comics is a little bit different from other Books and Comics.
Oh, really?
This one is Milo Naranjo.
Yeah.
Naranjo? I hope I'm sorry. Any Legends character that can be brought into new canon via Thrawn.
So Thrawn the book?
Thrawn the character. Could anything from Thrawn be brought into canon? Could he be responsible for bringing anything into canon? Obviously, we're still going to see that with Harok.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you think?
So, like, Thrawn specific stuff, or just, like, old legends through a story about Thrawn?
Yeah, sure.
I'm just trying to think what I would want to see. Because I guess that's how we choose. But, it'd be kind of neat if somehow he could incorporate Yuzhan Vong. I think we talked about it last week, and like that'd be kind of fun to have that kind of, because you haven't really seen something like that in Star Wars. Like the Empire was an unstoppable force, but they were still humans. They had flaws. Some were interesting characters, some were like bad. The Yuzhan Vong are just like, they're like the Borg in Star Trek, where you're just like, they're just gonna take over. So it's like, wow.
Yeah, I think that's the one, I guess, that it would really kind of lean towards.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, look, the only other character that can come in, and I don't think he could defeat Thrawn or have any purpose to go against Thrawn, is Dash Rendar.
Yeah. Or Amara Jade. Like, that would be kind of sweet.
Yeah, and and that actually would perfectly tie into Thrawn. Could you see that happening?
Mara Jade?
Probably in a novel, maybe?
Maybe if it's not specifically Mara Jade, but like a composite of her, because, the world we live in now, where we're constantly talking about social equality, gender equality, like the adding a strong female character like Mara Jade would be, I wouldn't say a knock out of the park, but I think it's like what marketing and, not to make Star Wars all about making money, but it is what it is. So it's like, hey guys, create a female character. I mean, look at Forces of Destiny. That's appealing to younger girls. It's still engaging for everyone. I watch it. I like it. But they're like 5-minute shows. They're not challenging anything. But the idea of like, look at these strong women. And Star Wars has never strayed from that idea. Mm-hmm. So in a world where we're trying to like all sort of think a new way, like a Mara Jade character would be
if you do her though, is she in a romantically linked to Luke Skywalker? And if she is, then there's a reason why she hasn't been announced or revealed yet, because we can't know until after either 8 or 9.
I think that would be the fans. The first question is like, is she linked to Luke? And Mark Hamill being the age he is, like, I mean, not saying an actor that age can't have a role where he has a romance, but like he's past the romantic.
Has she already existed in this world?
That's something. Yeah, I was just gonna say.
That's where, because then look, she doesn't need to be in the movies, I don't think, because she's a book character. She's a novel character. So I think if you do want to bring her into the films, you can have her mentioned she's passed away with something, whatever happened. Then you can go back and all of a sudden, Mara Jade the book.
Yeah, like, but that's why I say making a composite of her, so it's like, well, this is basically Mara Jade. Like,
which is way easier. Well,
and then you don't have to worry about that stuff.
But is that still her name?
No,
if it's not her name, then what's the point? Because if it's not her name, then they're going to do exactly what they did with Thrawn. Because I still think that Gallius Rax was supposed to be like their new Thrawn,
right?
And then they're like, no, it's just... So if you don't call her Mara Jade, then you can just go back and always bring her in. Yeah. So I mean, that's also another easy out.
I mean, my last thought on this is like, my go-to of like cool characters would have been the Solo twins, Anakin Solo, but then we can't really do that. But like a reference to making a character like Mara Jade, you could argue that Kylo is basically Jason Solo, like, and
Rey could maybe be
Jaina.
Well, yeah, but I think that's what the Michael Ernst script. I think
exactly. That's what we were expecting. So
yeah. So anyway, thanks a lot, Milo, for that one.
Yeah, that was cool.
Now we're gonna do something that we've never ever done on this show.
Our taxes.
Before. We're gonna do our taxes. A little early for taxes. Now we're gonna do shout outs, and we're gonna just, you guys, we've gotten some artwork and we wanted to show them off to you guys. So if some of you do this, then awesome. So the first one we're gonna show, Brock.
Boom.
Check this one out.
We are the Porg. Resistance is futile. Your
culture will adapt to purchase us.
Nice.
This is awesome. From Lamp Shadius. Emailed us this like a month or so ago, and I absolutely love this one. This, I think, was the first Borg Porg that I saw, and then it started becoming a thing. But we got this a while ago. I wanted to show this one off. Thank you, Lamp Shadius. I like your name. Also, this one's a fan favorite of mine. I love Two Tubes. This is Kevin Colgan making this one.
Two Tubes on the ones and twos.
You know what? Watching Rogue One again this weekend, I was like, still a huge Two Tubes fan. This next one was the first piece of artwork we ever got.
From Rogue Jin. One of the OG fans. This was fantastic because it's like, where did he get these pictures?
Where was I? I was somewhere.
Yeah.
And you were like, James!
Oh, yeah, because it was through Instagram Messenger, that's why.
Like, you have to check Instagram. And I was like, I'm at the gym.
Yeah.
I think I was at a gym, like, in the middle of nowhere.
Ooh la la.
I work out. I don't know if you guys can tell.
I work out.
And this one is the most recent one from... and this is from Austin Scher, who also did the amazing voiceover on the beginning of today's episode. Thank you very much.
What a talented fellow. Bravo. Like, this is fantastic. It's so simple because it's like you can still see Chewie's there, but he's it
looks more like you're a shadow.
Yeah, but it's just it's perfect. Like, because he just cut me out. He took a screenshot, cut me out. Like, it looks, but if only like the quality of the picture was a little bit better. And that's not a comment on him. That's just the quality of what our YouTube channel looks like. it would almost look real. Like it's just.
This is actually your new Tinder picture.
It is. It's like must love Star Wars.
I absolutely.
Bravo, Austin. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I absolutely love that one. Thanks a lot, guys. If you have any artwork or whatever you want to show us, send it to us because we love looking at it. It's awesome. And we'll put it on the show once in a while. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Top 5.
Top 5. Today's top 5 are top 5. Well, there's a whole lot of different top 5s today because a lot of you suggested top 5s to us. So, you know what? Let's go over to Rob McDonald and see what Darth Ward has to say.
Ooh,
Today's topic is actually a really cool one because it's suggested by one of you guys, one of your fans, and it is suggested by Christine Allison. Her top 5 topic that she wants me to talk about today is top 5 non-human races. So this is really cool because one of the coolest things about Star Wars is all the races, all the colorful characters, amazing characters that are cool for adults and teenagers and kids alike. So there's a lot of real cool races to talk about. I'm going to have a top 5 list here that probably is going to be completely different than many others. That's the beauty. Like I've looked up, there was top 50 race lists. So I'm doing top 5, so it's going to be very limited, but either way, let's get started. So number 5 on my personal list is the Mon Calamari from the planet of Mon Cala, mostly because I really love Admiral Akbar and I love Raditz as well in Rogue One. They're such cool characters, and they really had a cool little arc on Clone Wars where it was on Mon Cala and focusing on the Civil War, basically on the planet itself. And Admiral Akbar was in it, which was awesome, because I love Admiral Akbar. I really think he deserves some focus. I really want an Admiral Akbar comic soon, or even better, let's do an Admiral Akbar movie. Why not? But Mon Calamari, they're the specific one. Of course, they're very fishy. Horrible pun. I'm sure James and Brock are laughing at me now. You guys might be laughing at me for making that horrible pun, but I'm going to own it right now, and we're just going to enjoy it right now. Mon Cala is my number 5, so let's go to number 4 right now. Number 4 is the Wookiees. What are you doing, Rob? Why are the Wookiees number 4? It's really just about personal preference. I love Chewie. There's plenty of other Wookiees you can enjoy. They were really cool and for the most part, original race that Star Wars came up with. From the planet Kashyyyk, as many already know. It's really just my top 3 are just favorites of mine, and I really enjoyed the top 3. That's the only reason why the Wookiees are number 4, but 4 is great, especially with how many really cool races. And again, you guys might have Wookiees number 1. You guys might not even have Wookiees in the top 5, but that's cool too. The Wookiees are really cool. They can pull your arms out of your sockets. What can I say there aside from that? So let's move on to number 3. And number 3 is one that might not be on a lot of people's lists, but I love them. They are the Sand People, the Tusken Raiders from the planet of Tatooine. They're awesome. Ever since they first showed up in A New Hope with their and whatnot, and that sound effect might have been horrible too. You might be doing, Rob, what are you doing right here, right now? But regardless, I love the Sand People from like the puns that ObiWan says about them and all that stuff. I just enjoyed the Tusken Raiders so much. They're really cool looking. It's a shame that Anakin had to kill a whole lot of them, because that was probably the part that I maybe hated the most about Attack of the Clones. It's like, why are you killing these poor Sand People? Come on, they're cool and they're awesome. So yeah, that's my number 3. Number 2. I was about to say number 3 again, but number 2 on my list is the Zabraks. And if you don't know what the Zabraks fully are, you might be a casual Star Wars fan. That name might be a little bit non-familiar to you guys. It is Darth Maul's race. So the horns, you got everything like that. They're mostly from the planet of Dathomir. Dathomir is one of the really cool planets that I was glad that was a real focus of Clone Wars, not just for an arc, but multiple arcs because of Mother Talzin and Savage Opress, Darth Maul's arc over there. They're so cool. There's a reason why Phantom Menace got everybody hyped, just because they used Darth Maul as their marketing piece with the horns and all that type of stuff. Like, it was really hard for me to not put the Zabraks at number 1, but for a very specific reason, I don't have them number 1, because there's another character in specific that I really love, and including his race. And so number 1 on my list is, and he is here on my shirt right now, there is Jabba the Hutt That's right. The Hutts are my number one non-human race in this scenario. And also, I'm going to show off a very recent purchase that I had. Look at that. Look how cool that Jabba is in teacup form right there. It's really cool. Yeah, the Hutts are awesome. They're the gangsters of the universe. There's a reason why James and I talk about all the time about them doing a Jabba the Hutt movie and making it like a Goodfellas or a Godfather type situation where it's just literally the Hutts and Jabba basically rising through the ranks to become pretty much the elite mob boss of the Star Wars universe for the most part, which is pretty awesome. I love the Hutts, from their language. I'm not even going to try to do it considering all the bad impressions I've already done today. So I'm not going to try to talk like Jabba right now, but Jabba's awesome. The Hutts are awesome, and that's why they're my number one. So, like I said, there's plenty of races that could have been respected on this list. I have a few other ones that are really cool. The Jawas, the Twi'leks. I butchered that name right there too. The Ewoks, James would be upset if I didn't mention the Ewoks. The Gamorreans, also James would be upset that I didn't mention them. The Gungans, the Rancor, the Rodians, and I gotta mention also the Tauntauns. They don't get very much respect, but one of them literally just gave his life to save Luke in Empire Strikes Back. He didn't have much of a choice. Han kind of just took him along with them, but I mean, the Tauntauns were pretty important in Empire Strikes Back, I think. So, and once again, Christine, thank you for suggesting this topic. It was really cool to talk about, a very broad topic that I'd like to hear all of your suggestions. What are some other ones I might not even mention on these honorable mentions? Like what other really cool races? Because again, Star Wars has so many cool and amazing races. So, it's really cool. Thanks, Christine, again, for sending this topic, and you can do it as well on the Facebook page, Rebel Scum Podcast.
Thank you, Rob. What another fun top 5.
That was fun. It's nice to know people what they think of non-human races in Star Wars. Mine are all Hutts. All my top 5.
No ifs, ands, or Hutts.
Oh, look out. Okay, guess who's joining us again? Everyone's non-favorite Rebel Scum.
Oh!
He's not canon. We'll find out later, after he's done his top 5. We're talking about this guy right here, Andrew Fantasia, right there, back in his...
Amazing.
I can't believe we're allowing him on this show. Once he's done his top 5, we will let you guys know how he did with his Andrew attempting 66 planets in 66 seconds. I could probably do 10, I think.
Yeah.
Well,
I was thinking about it. I think most people can name about 20, because I feel like there's 20 places in all the movies, and then all other stuff that gets mentioned in books and stuff like that. But I think it's when you're under the gun of time that you're like, Endor.
Well, when you were listening early on, when I counted from 30, he started panicking. He goes, "Oh, the pressure's on," and the last 4 or 5 seconds, he doesn't even talk. But that's everyone's favorite non-canic. He's a legend, I guess. He's in Legends. Andrew Fantasia, thanks for coming back, buddy.
He's in Legends.
All right.
Some truth to me.
Yeah. All right. What are your top 5? And go for it, my friend.
My top 5 was suggested by Dan Allen. And thank you, Dan Allen, because you picked probably the best top 5 you could ever give me, which is my top 5 favorite Chief Palpatine quotes. This was just too much fun. So I'll just rip right into it here. Here we go. My number 5 favorite Palpatine quote from episode 1 is, "We will watch your career with great interest." Because that is just like, that sums it up. That's like, this is going to be parts 2 and 3. It's about him watching his career with great interest. Every time I see Palps and young Anakin together, it's always like scary because I know he's poisoning his mind with dark things. My number 4. I gotta make sure I get into character for this. "With each pulsing moment, you make yourself more my servant." Because that's just scary. I mean, not a nice thing to say. And we all, we're watching that as kids. We don't want Luke to be his servant. Nobody wants that. So when Emperor says that, we get a little bit afraid. Number 3 is from that same movie that kind of flows into this one, where he says this: "It is unavoidable. It is your destiny. You, like your father, are now mine." Which is also terrifying. If anybody said that I was now theirs in that voice, I would probably pee myself, faint, maybe in the opposite order, but that's what would happen to my body. My number 2, and this one is so much fun to say. Oh, I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive. That's Palpatine in a nutshell. If you want to make a dictionary of Star Wars and you want to have the definition of Palpatine, you just put a clip of that and you're done. And my number one, my absolute favorite, this is the line from Revenge of the Sith that really just drives it home. If somebody was watching these movies for the first time and they only had a fleeting idea of who or what the Emperor is, this line, combined with the way Ian McDiarmid delivers it, and I'm going to try to do it just a fraction as good as he did, this line is the one that gets everybody in their seats thinking, Jesus, this guy is horrible, and I am scared to death. And the line is this: once more the Sith will rule the galaxy, and we shall have peace. Come on. How can that not be number one? That's my top 5 Palpatine quotes. Thank you, Dan Allen, for the suggestion, and thank you all for loving Palpatine as much as I do.
I love that your number 1 is from your least favorite of the prequel films.
Yeah, you gotta give credit where credit is due.
And credit being due, Brock, why don't you tally up Andrew's numbers for his Andrew attempt 66 planets in 66 seconds. Did he come close? Did he go over? Is he a Sith Lord or a Jedi?
Unfortunately, he did not hit the 66 or
Boo.
This is the unofficial numbers because he said things so fast that I don't even know if we counted it right. But I have you at a grand total of 46 planets. Wow.
How do you feel about that one?
That's not bad. That's what, 2/3?
Yeah, sure. Math, I don't know.
As soon as we were finished, as soon as you said, time's up, I was like, God, I know there's something important that I missed, an important planet, and I couldn't remember what it was, and now I remember I missed Kashyyyk. I didn't say Kashyyyk.
Oh, yeah.
I missed literally every planet in Rogue One. I told my mind.
And they list them for you.
They put the name.
Yeah. We'll do it again. Maybe at Christmas time, we'll do another Andrew attempts where you can attempt to list 66 moments of the 60s in this holiday special.
Oh, beautiful! All of them are going to be B. Arthur singing.
Awesome. She is canon.
She's so canon now. I love you, B.
All right, Andrew. Thanks a lot for joining us on Order 66.
Thank you.
All right, and my top five enemy deaths by Milo Naranjo. So here we go. These are phenomenal. Top 5. The Grand Inquisitor on Rebels, the season 1 finale of Rebels. Ooh. Really like the Grand Inquisitor. I was amazed that the show had the cojones to off the main villain in the first season.
Yeah.
Very Ninja Turtles and Shredder in the first comic book.
Right.
Darth Maul, formerly Darth, I guess, when he either he dies in Phantom Menace or he dies in Rebels. You pick one of those. That's my number 4 because it's Darth Maul. I love Darth Maul, and that's his death. Number 3, Dooku getting beheaded because that's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah, it's not the Jedi way, and he just does it, and you're like, oh, okay, sick. That's awesome. Number 2, Jango Fett. I love decapitations. I can't get enough decapitations.
It's like the Highlander. You have to cut their heads off.
I love Jango. And I just love that it's just like, you're done. Get out of my face.
Yeah.
And you're out of here.
Yeah.
And then the clones exist, so Jango kind of lives on for a long time. He's still around, Captain Rex. And my number one death, this should not come as a surprise to anybody, is Han Solo. No, I'm joking. He's not a villain. You crazy? Jabba the Hutt. God, I love me some Jabba. And when Leia chokes him, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I absolutely love his tongue waggling out. It's fantastic. Anyway, Brock, over to you for this one.
So mine is top 5 top 5 Jedi that survived Order 66.
Yeah, by Melissa Metzger.
Yeah, sorry, I did not have my email, but does Vader count in this list? Does Anakin count in this list?
No, I'm gonna say no. Hardboiled no, because he's the one that kind of purges it.
Yeah, no,
So yeah, you can't. That's cheating.
I have 3. I need 2 more. I can't remember all the names too. Number 1, the Jedi from Vader, is a war Jedi, Barristan, something like that. Number 4, Quinlan Voss, because he's the bad boy of the Jedi,
and he's gonna be in the Han Solo movie.
Ooh la la. And it was recently announced. I think it's in the new Darth Vader comic, or maybe I'm totally wrong. But Master Jocasta, the librarian, survives Order 66. So that's going to be number 3, because I do not have a 5th one.
Amazing.
I'm pretty sure. I apologize if I'm wrong. But yeah, she'll be number 3. And then number 2 is going to be Yoda. Because number 1 has to be Obi-Wan, because he's just a little bit more important than the movies. I find Yoda very interesting, but like Obi-Wan, you know what? Like, I would rather see an Obi-Wan film over Yoda, so I'm gonna have to put Obi-Wan as my number 1.
Yeah, I agree. I like your list.
Yeah.
You're missing Anakin though. You didn't put Anakin on your list.
You said I couldn't do it.
Just joking. No,
let's roll back the tape.
You can't be like, you can't say,
no, yeah,
I'm gonna go kill all the Jedi,
and then
I'm the number 1 Jedi. That's
no, that's why I asked.
Actually, you know what? No, that actually is the smartest thing to do. Anakin is actually the number 1.
Yeah,
because he's like, now I am the greatest Jedi.
There can only be one.
Yeah, it made the most sense. Question: thanks Melissa Metzger for that one. Question though: when Anakin dies, or when Anakin comes back to the light and he's no longer, whatever, and he takes off his thing, is he a Jedi?
Well, because I would say yes, but no, you can't, because he gets in the suit once he's been defeated by Obi-Wan. But Order 66 happens way before that, right? If Order 66 is put out, but just as it happens, he's put into the Vader suit, then I say yeah, because once he comes out, he's Anakin again. So it's sort of like Anakin never perpetrated anything, but as we know, he did. He went and slaughtered younglings.
Yeah, like like when people say no, he's Anakin kills. No, it's Vader. Like as soon as I mean, he's renamed Vader. Just because he's not in the suit doesn't mean he's not Vader. He is Vader.
But when he puts the helmet on at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he's like, "Rise, Darth Vader." Like, but when he's named there.
No, I get what you're saying. He's named before, and Palpatine says, "From now on, you shall be." You shall be known as Darth Vader.
You're right. Like when they push Mace Windu.
Yeah. That's when he gets knighted. He gets knighted at that point. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Just a quick reminder that we do have a Patreon page. If you could check it out, even if you just go there and click on it and check it out, that would be awesome. Because support us.
Yes,
please.
Give us support.
Also, our T-shirts still available on sale. They're on sale like 3 or 4 times this month. So just check them out. Thanks everybody that's been buying them. We've got
Speaking of T-shirts, who won our contest?
That's what I was getting at.
It's hard to tell because you just run.
It's called a rundown.
Yeah.
Look. T-shirt winner. Patreon reminder.
I know, and that's why I'm reminding you. But it sounded like you were rapping.
Well, no. We were... It's called transition. T-shirts are on sale like 3 or 4 times a month. Brock, who won the T-shirt?
I don't know. Who did we fall on? Was it... Because I gave you 2 names.
And then I pulled them out of a hat.
Yeah.
Scotty Hawk.
Yay! That was not what I was going to say, so that's why you answered.
I was going to say Daryl Lewis.
Daryl Lewis.
Your roommate. I know, congratulations. We're going to do another contest like we said. Next week it's going to start. This is the last Jedi contest. The prize is a little bit bigger than what we're doing. So, Scotty, we will be in contact with you. And thanks, everybody, for bringing in your comments and questions and topics for today. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
We had a great time. We really appreciated it. We appreciate it every week, and we look forward to talking to you guys next week where we talk more about... actually, there's a few things we didn't get to today because of other things, so maybe we'll talk about those next week. We'll see, because nothing new's happening in Star Wars land anymore.
No, not really. I feel like there's something I was going to bring up, but nothing yet.
There's not a movie coming out in a month.
Oh, in 40 days?
Brock, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at BFSmink.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Petsafina. And in just under 2 weeks, you can kick my buttocks at Battlefront 2 at Petsafina on PS4. Some of you already added me. That's fantastic. I can't wait to lose to all of you. And you all say, you suck, and then hang up on me. or whatever you call it. All right, guys, thanks a lot. This has been Order 66, the 66th installment of the Rebel Scum podcast. I cannot believe we are this far along.
I can't believe we made it.
And I can't believe it's not butter. Ooh. All right, guys, thanks a lot. And may the force of others be with you.
66.
Hey, scumbags. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.